All right, this is Andrew Kraft with news now from Fox. As you've been following our coverage all day, we've been following politics throughout the day. Joe Biden was on a train tour through Ohio and western Pennsylvania all day, making several stops. And we want to go over to Fox News multimedia reporter Madeline Rivera, who has been following Biden for the last year and a half. But today was special. He was on a Build Back Better train tour. And Maddie, what was the message today for post-debate on this train tour?
Hey, Andrew, and I don't know if you can actually see behind me, but you can see some people over here are breaking down the set. That's where Biden spoke just a few hours ago. And Biden was really focusing on the economy during his message tonight. He's hitting counties that Trump won in 2016, and he's pitching himself especially to blue-collar voters. So on the economy, Biden is attacking Trump's record, saying that Trump had promised to bring back manufacturing jobs to these counties in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and yet he says Trump didn't deliver on that record. And one thing I kept hearing about him on his train tour especially was about Trump's tax records. As you know, that New York Times article reported that Trump only paid $750 in taxes in 2016 and 2017. And Biden really honed in on that, saying that this is just another way that Trump has not really been connecting to the American people. He says that this is a choice between Park Avenue and Scranton, which is where Biden is from. And meanwhile, Biden has been delivering a little bit of his own proposals. He talked a lot about his Buy American plan, which, as the name suggests, focuses on buying American goods. So again, this is really Biden just showing that this is Trump out of touch with the regular American people. Andrew.
And Maddie, in light of the raucous debate from yesterday where both sides were just interrupting each other constantly, can you kind of talk about some of the changes the Commission on Presidential Debates are going to take and administer going forward for the next presidential debate on October 15th. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I think regardless of whether or not you thought Biden won or Trump won, I think a lot of people can agree that they didn't really get a lot of substantive answers from either one of the candidates last night. They just kept talking over each other and bickering, so it was hard to see whether or not any of these candidates really got their points across American goods. So again, this is really Biden just showing that this is Trump out of touch with the regular American people. Andrew.
And Maddie, in light of the raucous debate from yesterday where both sides were just interrupting each other constantly, can you kind of talk about some of the changes the Commission on Presidential Debates are going to take and administer going forward for the next presidential debate on October 15th? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I think regardless of whether or not you thought Biden won or Trump won, I think a lot of people can agree that they didn't really get a lot of substantive answers from either one of the candidates last night. They just kept talking over each other and bickering, so it was hard to see whether or not any of these candidates really got their points across. So today, the Commission on Presidential Debates said it would consider some changes to the format after last night's performance showed that more structure was needed. We don't know what those changes will look like for the debates in Miami or Nashville, but of course I think that is something that a lot of people might look forward to after last night.
And Maddie, just lastly, the Biden campaign really showed some huge fundraising numbers, especially in the hours after last night's performance on the debate stage. Can you give us an insight into that? They're really touting that today. Was that right?
Yes, so after the debate, the Biden campaign had a briefing call, and one of the things that was mentioned on that call was how they raised nearly $4 million in the the hour between 10 to 11. And Deputy Campaign Manager Kate Bedingfield said that is the best, or they broke their fundraising record for a single hour. And then after that, the Democratic National Committee said that they had the best fundraising day ever. So they're clearly enjoying some of the moment here after what they thought was a strong performance from Biden. And the Biden campaign will definitely use this money, especially when it comes to ads. The Biden Last week, Biden spent $45.8 million compared to Trump's $17.8 million to run TV commercials. That's according to the organization Advertising Analytics, which tracks this information. So you can bet that the Biden campaign will definitely find this useful for their campaign moving forward, Andrew.
And Madeline Rivera, just lastly, we know the Biden campaign was in Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, really trying to bring back those voters who went for Trump in 2016, but normally would vote Democrat. Where is Biden going after this? Is he staying in those Midwestern Rust Belt states?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. They just announced today that they are going to Grand Rapids, Michigan on Friday. So, yes, he is continuing to bring his message in these states that previously voted for Obama but then swung to Trump in 2016. He's trying to win them back with his message, and you can bet that he will also touch on the economy during that trip, Andrew.
And Madeline Rivera, Fox News' multimedia reporter and Biden campaign embed live there from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Maddie, thanks so much.
Thank you, Andrew.
And like we said, we're news now from Fox. We're bringing you everything politics with 34 more days left till the November 3rd election. You just saw President Trump was in Minnesota, and like Maddie said, Joe Biden was in Ohio and Pennsylvania today, really getting their messages out in these last few weeks ahead of the election. Early voting has started in several states, but we wanted to bring you back now to probably like a live look at the U.S. Capitol here. There was some news off Capitol Hill today where the Senate passed a continuing resolution ensuring that the government will be funded through at least mid-December. Government funding would have run out today if that was not passed. It goes to the president's desk. The House has already passed it. And we saw from the Senate floor a lot of Republican senators touting Judge Amy Coney Barrett and her SCOTUS nomination that the president made last weekend. She's been meeting with senators on Capitol Hill all week, trying to shore up their votes when confirmation proceedings begin, what Fox sources are telling us, October 12th. And we want to bring you back to just some more discussion and analysis from the presidential debate from last night. Let's listen in to Fox 11 KTTV's own special post-debate program.